Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to do the Moody Reader Book Tag. So I was tagged to do this by Steff from Coffee Over Apples, so thank you Steff for tagging me to do this. This tag is basically all about booktubers and like their different moods when reading. And so yeah, I'm excited to dive into it. I haven't done a tag in a little while, so this will be fun. And let's just get into it. The first question is, do you consider yourself a mood reader? And I will say that sometimes I'm a mood reader because there's a lot of times where I want to read a specific type of book, but I also try and stick to my TBRs that I set for myself. When I complete those TBRs, I feel like I completed a goal of mine, and that makes me feel good. Although sometimes I wish I could just push the TBRs to the side and pick up any book I want. But I would have to say that I'm not a mood reader just because like I stick to those goals. Although I really kind of wish I was. So I guess my answer is I'm not, but I want to be. Or I guess more than want to be is I want to allow myself to be. Well, the next question I already kind of answered because it is, do you set TBRs and do you stick to them? And I do set TBRs. For the most part, I stick to them. Sometimes I stray a little bit off course. And by stray, it means like I just don't get the whole TBR done. But I usually make sure that I read each book on my TBR before I pick up anything else. Question 3 is, do books affect you emotionally? I will say that I don't really get very emotional with books. It's very hard for a book to bring emotion out of me. Like there are some books that'll like make me very happy, or it's very rare that a book will make me sad. Surprised is another emotion that I don't get very often because I'm pretty good at figuring out what is gonna happen in a book, but I don't always get it. I would say I'm in the middle. Like some books will bring out some emotion, but for the most part, like I don't really like cry or anything when it comes to books. So I don't get like that emotional, but I still get like happy emotions from books. So that's good. Question 4 is, when you're feeling sad, do you like to read sad books, neutral books, or happy books? And honestly, if I'm feeling sad, I want to read something sad, which is kind of weird, I know, because it's not like bringing me out of the funk that I'm in. But like, I don't know, when I'm feeling sad, like I just want to be in those emotions and stay there for a while and just like experience it, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of weird, but yeah, so like I do try and read sad books when I'm feeling sad. That being said, I don't really know if I have many sad books to begin with. I know of one, Still Alice. That book is very sad. And actually, I feel like I'm taking back my answer for the previous question because Still Alice really did hit an emotional nerve with me, mainly because it like hit more close to home because it deals a lot with Alzheimer's and I have Alzheimer's in my family. So that one was emotional. But other than that, like I don't really have that many emotional reads, and I can't really think of many other sad books. So, I mean, there's always The Fault in Our Stars or like 5 Feet Apart. I'm just going back on everything I say this whole tag. But anyways, yeah. Question 6 is, what is a book that made you laugh out loud? And for that one, I would have to choose Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson, mainly because the main character of this book, he likes to use a lot of metaphors, but they don't always make sense, and he kind of just makes them up on the spot. It's like a little thing that he does throughout this entire series, and it's just, it's so funny because some of his metaphors are absolutely ridiculous. I can't think of any right now, but if you read this book, like you'll understand the things that he comes up with are so funny and just random. And so like I actually found myself laughing out loud while reading this book multiple times. Question 7 is, what is a book that made you cry? And if you don't cry, got emotional. So like I said before, I don't really cry in books, but this one did get me emotional after thinking about it for a while, and that was The Fault in Our Stars. I also read this when I was a teenager, so having all that teen angst could have been another part of why this book made me emotional. And I did get emotional at parts that like not are like the regular parts to get emotional at. So I found that kind of funny. But yeah, this book deals with kids who have cancer and they meet at a cancer support group and then kind of fall in love. So yeah, I don't know how to like explain much more about this book without giving anything away. There's a lot of emotional topics in this book, and it is definitely a roller coaster. But like, I mean, if you haven't heard of The Fault in Our Stars by now, then like, where have you been? Seriously. This is one that would make me emotional, apart from Still Alice. Then the next question is, what is a book that you didn't know how to feel about at the end? And so for this one, I'm just going to say like all my blog books. It's rare, like occasionally I'll like one of them and I'll be like, it'll be a hit. But a lot of my blog books that I read, they're kind of like all over the place. And so when I'm finished them, I don't really know like how to feel about them. I eventually have to wrap up my thoughts. But a lot of the time I'm just like, I don't know if this is going to be like a higher rating, a lower rating. Some of them look like they have a lot of promise and I get really excited, but then the cover doesn't match like what's in the book. I find that happens a lot with indie books. But that being said, I do really like a lot of indie books. There are some like indie books that are fantastic. So yeah, I would say just like as a whole, a lot of the books that have been sent to my blog, I'm not really sure how to feel about them at the end. But that could also be a good thing because that like instigates thinking about all the things you read and trying to come up with a review. Like it helps me in my review process because then I have to like get all my thoughts out on paper. So yeah, to answer that question, there's a lot of books that I don't even know how to feel about by the end of it. Are you more likely to read on a sunny or cloudy day? For me, I think it's probably on a sunny day because I like to spend time outside and I like to sit on the deck and read with a nice cold drink and my sunglasses on and just kind of like roast in the sun. I can only do it for like short periods of time because I am like part ginger, so I burn very easily. But I do really like spending time on the deck and just enjoying the sunshine. It would be nice if we had like a tree overhanging the decks and I get some shade, which we don't, but I do just like spending the time out there. I think my favorite thing would be lying in a hammock in the shade reading with like an ice cold glass of lemonade. That's like the ideal situation. Do you usually set the mood when you read? So for example, put on music or light candles or things like that. I do like candles. As you can see, there's one there, there's one there. However, I haven't really been like lighting them lately, which I don't know why, because I have them all over the place. Like I really should. But yeah, I do like lighting candles. I don't really listen to music when I'm reading because I find that it can be a little bit distracting. However, I do really like reading when I'm at a cafe. I think that like cafe music with the whole like ambiance of the smell of coffee and just like being there, I really like that. I haven't been doing that a lot because of, well, COVID, but yeah, that is something I also like to do. But yeah, for the most part, I just find a comfy spot in the house. I sit down with a blanket, sometimes grab a tea, sometimes grab a cold drink, and then just read as much as I can. And then the last question is, can you jump from book to book, or do you need some buffer time between books? Honestly, the minute I finish a book, I like go pick out my next book and put my bookmark in and get ready to go. I could just jump from book to book, like no problem. Buffer time is nice, and sometimes like I do give myself buffer time, but for the most part, because I find myself to be a slower reader, I try and just jump right into the next book and go. Although I'm not doing that right now, I should be reading Dark Age, but I have not picked it up yet. But I am going to read this month. Like I'm going to make myself do it, and I think I just got to read that first chapter to get myself like pulled in. I haven't done it yet, but it's going to happen. You guys have to hold me to it, okay? And that's it for the Moody Reader Book Tag. Thank you so much, Steff, for tagging me to do this. I had a lot of fun doing it. I'm not going to tag anybody, but I'm going to leave it open. So like if anybody wants to do this tag, all the questions will be in the description down below, as well as a link to Steff's original video. And now for our independent bookstore shoutout. Okay guys, so for today's independent bookstore shoutout, it's for the Crockett Book Company, and that's in Trail, British Columbia. So this is their website. I like how they have on the front page, like everything split up into categories. So you got your bargain books, your bargain fiction books, bargain kid books, things that are 20% off, local interest. They even have a section for Magic the Gathering, which is a card game, and I think that's awesome. They have games, which, let's see, ooh, Canadian trivia. I think my parents have that. Let's see. I love this game.
They have lots of options. Ooh, these kind of look cool. I have never seen those before. Bananagrams, always a classic. Anyways, let's see. They have puzzles. Marcus is super into puzzles right now, so maybe I'll have a gander on here. Oh, these are nice. Oh, we actually have this puzzle. Ooh, donuts. That's fun. But of course, they have books, so let's check out what their fiction bargain books are. Oh, there's only a couple. Oh, view all. We can see all of them, 52 titles. So these are all the books that they have that are on bargain. Oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe there's only 8. All right. Well, let's see what they have in total. This is their thing where they have all the books listed here. So if you want a book that's really going to cut you to the deep, it's this one right here. Let's see, what else is there? Six of Crows, very loved on BookTube. Same with Shadow Bone. House in Cerulean Sea is also one that everyone's loving right now. Yeah, so as you can tell, they have a lot of options. So if you want to check them out, it's crocketbookco.com.
If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Coffee page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to buy my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.